1 month later, Nene, who was dressed in her uniform, was buying some roasted corn by the roadside, which she would take for lunch, when Oscar, who was walking out from a nearby restaurant to get into the car, glanced down the road and saw her. Taking off his sunglasses, he began to admire her from afar. His driver, Pablo, who was in his middle 40s, waiting outside his car, noticed and turned to follow the direction of his gaze. Pablo, who is that girl? She looks familiar, but I can't seem to place where I've seen her before, Oscar said. Oga. Na Nene be that oh, Pablo replied. Nene? Yes oh. The same Nene, Adani's younger sister? Yes, Oga. Wait oh. The Nene I knew 8 years ago was so skinny and was still writing jam when I left the country. I can't believe that she's the one who had grown into this curvy and beautiful lady now, Oscar said. Abi oh, Oga. The girl na very good girl oh. Nobody wey no know for this era say she dey mind her business. She no dey waka waka up and down like her sister. If Nene no dey go work, she dey go house. If Nene no dey go house, she dey go church. Her life simple well. Na triangle lifestyle she dey live, Pablo revealed to Oscar. I see. And from how she's dressed, I presume she's working in the medical sector, right? Yes, now. The girl really serious with her life, oh. Pablo smiling silly now, then asked Oscar, my able Oga, this one when you dey look this girl like this, you like her? Well, many men don't dey rush her hand for marriage. If to say I don't gallant, I for try my luck oh. The girl really deserves make better man spoil her. She no deserve to suffer at all. Her character is just impeccable. Any lucky man when go marry am go really enjoy. See as her skin take dey shine for sun. She's not like one of these girls when they form anyhow, follow different men up and down, can't even dey bleach. She fine sotey she no even need makeup, Pablo said. Obviously. But Pablo, can you do me a favor? Oscar asked when he saw Nene pay the woman and began to wait for her change. Oga, anything I go do am. Anything at all, Pablo eagerly said. Okay, I want you to run her and the seller woman over. Pablo straightened up now. The smile on his face vanished. He slowly removed his cap and asked, Oga, you say waiting? I said you should run her down. You don't have to make it severe. Just a slight brush. Let it look like an accident, Oscar said. Oga, you mean say make I use this motto, jam Nene? As in, make I use this motto when me and you dey so, knack nurse Nene wounda? What? Are you deaf? That's exactly what I said. Oh, are you hesitating? Oscar said. His eyes still fixed on the object of interest, which is Nene. Pablo slowly turned, holding the cap on his head, then whistled loud. Oga, you won't put me for trouble? You won't make I go prison for this my old age? Pablo, I will take responsibility of whatever happens. Just do as you are told. But Oga, this girl no do you anything now. Why you won't wicked am like this? Because I like her and I want to make her mine, Oscar replied. Wait Oga. Now for where person they use motor jam another girl because say he like her. Why you no carry all this your swag talk to Ram now? I should say if you speak with this your Canada phone, she go fall for you yakata. Nene no get wahala like that. Listen Pablo, I am beyond trying to woo a woman. Ordinarily, Nene is not even my type. She's beautiful, quite alright, but she's not my class. I only want to try her out because I'm fed up of dating hogs. Oga, If this girl no be your type, then leave her for person when go like am the way she be now, Pablo said, almost annoyed. Listen, once she's mine, I will eventually polish her to my taste. But first things first, Pablo. Run her over, Oscar simply ordered and got into the back seat of the car. Reluctantly, Pablo got into the driver's seat with a frown on his face. Remember, make it look like an accident and be fast about it before she collects her change, Oscar anxiously said. Pablo turned the ignition and started the car as he began to mumble under his breath. He started driving down by the side of the road, and within seconds, he drove into Nene, who was quick to jump backwards out of the way, and the car proceeded forward and ran into the cellar stable, spilling the roasted corn and burning coals on the ground. To the cellar, it was like a film trick. She just sat down, imagining what had just happened, while Nene sat close to the gutter, wincing in pain at the bleeding bruise on her right leg. Oscar suddenly ran out of the car, pretending to be shocked at what happened, while Pablo reluctantly got out of the car and slammed it shut, then dragged his feet to examine the damage he had deliberately caused to please his boss. When the seller saw Pablo, she yelled at him in a teary voice full of despair. You know the sea road? I be here na road again. I just sit down my own, they mind my business and sell my market. When you carry this car from nowhere, come scatter everything where they sell. Oga, they send you. Just see as you take through away all my market for ground. Even my ogbonge customer, you won't kill am for me? She gestured at Nene with a hand, whom Oscar is already apologizing and attending to. Madam, I beg no vex for me, oh. Now the brave failed, Pablo apologized as he threw a glare at his boss, who was too carried away to notice and was busy helping Nene to stand on her good foot. You say make her no vex? The woman screamed. I beg oga. Now no vex I won't chop. Now no vex go feed my children. You must pay me my money, oh. You must pay me my money today. Person they manage to survive for this Nigeria, and people like you they go around the scatter things as if say na you get road. But madam, no dey shout for me now. No be me get car. Shout for my oga head, Pablo said. Eh? You no see am say nuts don't come off for your head, she shot. No be you drive the car? No be you? If your work don't tire you, why you no resign? I be now until you buy person. Oscar, who has successfully helped Nene into the back seat, closed the door and walked to the shouting woman. I am really not surprised that poor people like you will always be acting like idiots. Is it because of this nonsense? He gestured at her scattered roasted corn on the ground that you are making so much noise? My friend, take this and shut your mouth already, Oscar said rudely and threw several notes of 1,000 naira at her and then returned to the car. Now God go judge you now, the seller lamented as she bent down and began to collect the money. See 2,000 naira notes don't enter gutter, Pablo pointed. I beg, carry your wahala they go, the woman snapped at him. Bad luck people. Pablo got into the car and gazed through the rearview mirror at Oscar, who had his arm round Nene's shoulder and was comforting her. Sister Nene, I beg no vex, he apologized as he started the car. Just drive to the hospital straight, Oscar instructed, and Pablo glared at him through the mirror before driving into the road. When they got to the hospital, Pablo tried to assist Oscar in helping Nene out of the car, but he bluntly refused. As Oscar led Nene into the hospital, Eva, her friend, quickly hurried to assist. Jeez, what happened to you? I had an accident, Nene managed to say. How come? Just go and buy lunch and you came back like this? Eva asked in surprise. His car ran into me at the roadside when I was patronizing Mame Faye, Nene gestured at Oscar with her head. God, I beg you. Now so person take they die within seconds, Eva said. They helped Nene into the ward and helped her get on a bed. Dr. Mike, who was passing by, suddenly stopped when he saw her. He asked, "What's going on?" "Doctor, the devil came very late too." "Within how many minutes?" "Nene got involved in an accident," Eva replied. Mike pulled close to Nene and began to examine her injured leg. "Well, it's not that serious," he said after a moment. "It's just a bruise. I will bathe it and also dress it. I believe it will heal in days." "Ah, thank God though. If that be the case, I can quickly do that," Eva offered. "Don't worry, I will handle it," Mike said, glancing up at Nene's face. He then asked Eva who brought her in. "He did," Eva pointed at Oscar, who had just finished a phone call. When both men turned to look at each other, their eyes widened in recognition. "Michael!" Oscar exclaimed in surprise. "Oscar!" Mike was equally surprised, and both men quickly shook each other and bumped shoulders while the nurses stared at them. "You two know each other?" Nene finally asked. "Yes, we schooled in the same institution abroad," Mike answered, and then said to Eva, "Nurse Eva, please get the necessary materials. We need to treat Nene's injury, and do not forget to bring the aspirin." "Yes, doctor," Eva said and quickly walked away while both men began to catch up on old times. After treating Nene, Mike told her to take the rest of the day off and 2 additional days, then offered to take her home. But Oscar quickly insisted that he would do so since he was responsible for her accident. When Oscar got to Nene's house, Ginika, who was sitting outside eating fried meat, slowly stood up when she saw a big car driving into their compound. When they got down, she glanced down at Nene's leg and asked, "What happened?" "I had an accident, Mama," Nene replied. "I see what? Oh my God. Thank you all for bringing her home," Ginika said in an emotional way. "I can't begin to imagine what I would have done if anything had happened to my precious daughter." Just then, Adane, who heard voices, came out of the house out of curiosity to see what was going on. And when she saw Oscar, her eyes lit up and she called, "Oscar!" He looked up and now smiled a bit when he saw her. "Please come in. You're welcome to our house. You just came at the right time because I just finished preparing a delicious soup. I think you should stay and rate my cooking skills," Adane suggested. "Oh no, maybe some other time. You see, Ada, I only brought your sister home and I have to be on my way now," Oscar said. And before he left, he gave Nene a bundle of cash, who only reluctantly collected it after he kept insisting. Then he collected her number, which he immediately saved on his phone, while Adane glared at them and angrily folded her hands under her chest with a jealous frown on her face. After bidding goodbye, Mother and Adane walked into the house to meet Nene, who was sitting already. "You, this girl! So you didn't see any other car to throw yourself at but his car?" Adane angrily shot. "Ada, I didn't run into his car, but his car ran into me instead." "My friend, shut up, you liar. Ooh! The car should have damaged your leg beyond repair, you cheap little girl." "Oh, you think I don't know what game you're playing? You think I don't know?" Nene gasped up at her sister in surprise. "What did I do to you now, Adane, that you are wishing me bad? Is it my fault that this accident happens to me?" She was about to report when Ginika, her mother, stopped her, and then with a fake smile, she asked, "That money he gave to you, my darling, how much is it?" "I don't know, Mama. I didn't count it," Nene simply answered. Let me help you count it then, Ginika said as she bent down to take the bundle of money from the chair. Wetting her hand with saliva, she began to count the money and her eyes grew bigger and bigger as she continued to count. 200,000 naira, Ginika announced in surprise when she was done counting. 200 what? Adani asked. And he gave me just 20,000 naira. I mean 20, she complained in jealousy. Nene simply exhaled and stretched her hands towards her mother. Mama, please let me have it. I have to show it to Papa when he comes back home. Ginika drew backwards with a disgruntled look on her face. Show it to your father? You lie. You think I don't know what you want to do? You want to sideline me again as usual, right? You want to sideline your own mother. I don't know why you are so different to Nene. Other daughters are so quick to bring everything to their mothers. But you, Mba, you take everything to your father. Was he the one who carried you in the womb for 9 months? I'm asking you. Anyway, it's a good thing that Oscar gave you the money in my presence. I think he's trying to extend his generosity to the family. You know what I will do, she asked as she wet her fingers again and began to recount. I will take 100,000 naira from this morning. I will give 30,000 naira to your sister, while I will keep 70,000 naira to myself. She dropped the remaining 100,000 naira on the table and then said, you and your father can share this one, however it pleases you to. But this one is for us. But Mama, this money belongs to me now. When Adane brings money home, you never give me and Papa any out of it, Nene complained. Shh, you little brat. I can benefit anywhere I want. And since Adane could not bring this kind of money home, it means it cannot go round. Sorry for your leg. Maybe men will not notice you again now that one leg has a problem, Adane snickered while Ginika continued. You should also know that now you cannot walk around on your own. You will have to start giving me money to take care of you. Or better still, I could get you a stick. But until then, continue being daddy's girl. They mocked and left the sitting room. Well, this incident was the beginning of the relationship between Oscar and Nene, for he kept coming to the house to check on her until she was fully recovered. As the relationship grew, Adane became more angry, but there was nothing she could do but hope that her mother come to her aid at the right time, since Ginika had assured her that she would never let Nene marry before her. One night, after returning from a date, Oscar asked Pablo to park the car on the street, a block away from Nene's house, and also asked him to switch off the interior lights and wait outside the car. Immediately Pablo had stepped down. Oscar suddenly reached for Nene and began to touch her against her will. Nene was so uncomfortable with that. She placed a hand on his chest and told him to stop. What? He asked, sounding a bit annoyed at her reluctance. What are you doing? Nene asked softly. What does it look like I'm doing? I want my girlfriend, of course, he answered. In a car? In my street? Just a block away from my house? What if my father walks in on us or somebody sees us? Do you want to give me a bad name? What's the big deal? He asked. Abroad people do it in cars, so stop acting naive already. You are grown. Oh, you are going to make out with me in your car? Nene asked. See, stop acting like you don't know what relationship entails. We have been dating for 5 months now. You barely let me kiss or touch you. You even refused a visit to my house. Whenever I ask that we see, you always insist it must be a public place. What exactly are you scared of? That thing that you're scared of, don't you know is one of the most important symbols and ingredients of love? Well, not for me. I don't believe in it before marriage, Oscar, and I'm not ready to break my principle just to please you, Nene answered. Meaning that I'm a virgin, Oscar, and I have to keep it that way, she told him, then angrily averted her gaze. Oscar was seriously angry, but he only said, I see. Nene turned to look at him again, and then suddenly she asked, where is this relationship even heading to? Oscar, why are we even dating? Is your aim just to sleep with me? You have not even for once mentioned any prospect of us ending up together. Please tell me, is this something you are doing just to while away time before you are ready to return to Canada? Am I a sort of rebound? I knew that it would get to this, and I do not like to be pressured, Oscar said angrily. But I'm not pressuring you for anything, Oscar. I only want to know where this relationship is heading to. Very well then. Oscar switched on the car roof lights and pulled a small wrapped gift from a compartment in the car and handed it to Nene. This is for you, he said. What's this? Nene asked, puzzled as she examined the gift. Why don't you open it now, madam, and find out, he answered. And when Nene unwrapped to reveal a small black box, he urged her to go on and open it. Nene opened the box and her eyes widened when she saw a diamond ring nestled within. A proposal ring? She uttered in surprise, placing her fingers across her mouth in awe. Yes. Will you marry me? Oscar simply said with a cocky smile. Yes, Nene suddenly blurted before she could stop herself, then leaned sideways to hug him. Put the ring on, he told her after they pulled apart from each other. Nene looked at him puzzled. I thought you were supposed to do that for me. Just put the ring on, Nene, and stop being a drama queen. What's the difference, me sliding it in and you doing it? It's still going to be on your finger, isn't it? Nene swallowed hard and involuntarily slipped the ring in her finger. It's beautiful, she muttered as she admired it, although she was not too happy that he made her wear it herself. I am glad it fits. And mind you, that ring cost me a lot of money, so I will advise you handle it with care. I will make proper preparation with my folks to come see your father in order to let him know officially my intention towards you. Okay. Until then, Nene simply said and then opened the door of the car. I have to go now. It is already late. Aren't you forgetting something? Oscar asked. And when Nene paused and turned her head to look at him, he tapped his cheek with a finger and she leaned forward and gave him a peck on the cheek. When Pablo got into the car and started it, he was not in a good mood because he had noticed how his boss had tried to take advantage of Nene in the car, but he said nothing. When Nene got to the house, she met her father sitting outside, waiting up for her, and his eyes unpleasantly followed Oscar's car as he drove by. Papa, you are still awake? Nene asked in concern. Where are you just coming from, Nene? Okonkwo asked, a bit upset. Papa, Oscar and I went out on a date. He was even the one who dropped me off now, Nene replied. Firstly, why does he not always drop you in front of the house? Is he ashamed of where you live? And secondly, What sort of reasonable and responsible man brings a girl back home this ungodly hour, knowing fully well that her family will be worried and also knowing that she had to go to work the next day? He intentionally makes you keep late nights these days, and I don't like it. What if something bad happens to you out there? Papa, you worry too much, but I understand your fear. Don't worry, I will tell him to start dropping me home early. And guess what? She cried now and suddenly stretched her hand towards Okonkwo. Papa, he proposed. Okonkwo simply said with no indifference. I see. Nene was surprised at her father's lack of enthusiasm towards the good news she had just shared. Papa, aren't you happy that he proposed to me? My daughter Nene, to be frank with you, I don't like that Oscar guy. There is just something unsettling about him that makes me uncomfortable, and that I am yet to find out. So there is nothing more I can do than to wish you well. I just hope that God will touch your mother and sister's hearts to feel the same way. He got up and placed a hand on her upper back, guiding her into the house. Let's go in. You can show your mother and sister the ring tomorrow when they wake up. I warmed your dinner for you. It is in the kitchen, Okonkwo said as he locked the main door. Eat and go to the bed. I am going to bed now. Okonkwo bade his daughter good night and retired to the bedroom which he shared with his wife, who was already asleep, less concerned about their next welfare. Some days later, Adane had a boy of 7 years old kneeling in front of the house with his hands raised above his head as he cried. Keep quiet, Adane snapped at the boy, placing a finger across her lips. By the time I am done with you, you will learn to do as you are told from now on. I am sorry, Mommy. I am sorry, the boy pleaded in tears. Shut up your mouth. Who is your mommy? You must learn to call me Auntie Adane. Stop spoiling market for me, oh. Stop spoiling market for me, oh. Your father ditched me and ran away, leaving me to care for you alone. This boy, it is Auntie Adane. It is Auntie Ada. Have you heard? Dragging his ear. Okonkwo walked into the compound, but stopped when he saw the scene. What is going on here? He demanded, and Adane turned around to look at him with a sheepish look on her face. Papa, good evening, sir, she nervously greeted. Adane, why are you beating Ikena? What has he done? Okonkwo asked with a stern look on his face. Papa, can you imagine that this brat went bragging in school that I'm his mother? He was telling his friends, his mates, and whoever that cares to know that I'm his biological mother. And so? Are you not his mother? Or were you expecting him to lie? But Papa, I thought I've explained to you before. Nobody is supposed to know that I have a child. Don't you know that most men don't want to marry a single mother? Adane said with a frown. Here, Ada. When you were busy doing the do without protection, why didn't you think of that? So now you want to punish the innocent boy for something he has no control over. Why should you deny him the joy of motherhood since the father had vanished into thin air 7 years ago? Papa, you won't understand. Ikena here is supposed to be acting like a cousin living with us, or that Mama gave birth to him, not me. Haba. No me, Papa, she grumbled. Hey! Very obvious. Something is definitely wrong with you. Bia Ikena, get up and go into the house right now, Okonkwo ordered. But the boy dreadfully stared at his mother, and Okonkwo impatiently snapped at him. I said, get up and go in. Apprehensively, The boy stood up and walked into the house while Adani turned to angrily vent. Papa, I don't like this so. I don't like this at all. Why can't you let me discipline him? After all, he is my son. And who cares about what you like or not? What I know is that the next time you punish that boy for speaking the truth, you shall see the other side of me, Okonkwo warned and walked into the house, while Adani angrily stamped her feet and began to grumble bitterly. Later that evening, Nene and her fiancé Oscar were at a popular Chinese restaurant where they had gone on a date. As they ate, Oscar began, "So tell me, have you ever been to a Chinese restaurant before?" "No, not at all. This is actually my first time," Nene shyly replied as she looked around. "Then you should feel lucky that you have someone like me, because I'm going to take you places that you had never been before," Oscar boasted, then suddenly noticed her drink on the table. "Why are you still taking this drink instead of an expensive wine?" "This is actually my favorite drink," Nene replied. "I see. Well, that drink is meant for the poor, and I am not poor, as you can see. I want you to use, wear, and drink expensive products from now on. You should know that you are now representing me, and I don't want my woman to look like a pauper. It's not like you're paying for any of these with your meager salary. It is my money, my hard-earned money, and I am not complaining." "Oscar, I think I'm fine with this drink. It is my favorite drink, and I don't think any other brand can replace it. And for using the expensive things, I am content with what I have. Thanks," Nene calmly said. Oscar paused to look at her. "I can see that you are very, very stubborn. Listen, Nene, I like my woman obedient and docile. I am the man here, and I don't think I will advise you to do anything that is not for your own good. I like my woman to simply say yes to everything I want. That way, we will definitely have a happy home. Your total obedience and loyalty are the true definition of submission." "How about now, Oscar? This is just a drink. I don't think we should be making an issue out of it." Nene tried to make him see reasons for her choice, but he only gave her a look that made her uncomfortable. "Anyway, that's by the way," he finally said after sipping his own drink. "I am sure that once we get married, you will do away with this poverty mentality of yours. Now to the topic that I was meaning to talk to you about." "What is it?" Nene asked. "Once we get married, I want you to quit your job. In fact, 2 weeks before the wedding, I want you to tender your resignation letter to the hospital where you work." Nene almost choked with her food, but she quickly flushed it down with a glass of water. After clearing her throat, she asked, just to be sure she heard him right the first time, "What did you say? That you want me to quit my job as a medical practitioner?" "Yes," he confidently answered. "Is there any problem?" "But why will I do that?" Nene asked. "Because you are going to be my wife, and the duty of a wife is to pamper her husband, cook, give birth to children, and take care of the home." "Really? If I wasn't working, how do you think we would have met? In my father's house?" "You see, Nene, that's the real problem. I don't want people having access to my wife anyhow, or in the name of wanting treatment for one ailment or the other. Or do you think that I don't know that most medical practitioners are loose? Nene, just quit the job and stay at home. I am going to be your husband very soon, and you are bound to obey me. If money is the problem, don't worry. I will take care of your every need and that of your parents. But I definitely do not want a career woman as a wife. But Oscar, I am an independent woman. I cannot be relying or waiting on you for everything I need. I need to work and earn my own money too. I need to take care of my father. He saw me through school, and my dishing of certificates because of marriage is not what he bargained for. Now, you are sounding like a feminist, and I don't like it. What else do you want? Why are you so desperate to suffer? How much are they even paying you in that hospital that I can't pay double? Quit the damn job and stop making a mountain out of a molehill. Oscar, Nene started to speak again, but he held up a palm, stopping her. Nene, I don't want to hear anything about this anymore. All I want to hear from you is that you will think about it. And when you are done thinking about it, all I want is a positive response from you, right? Nene mumbled, suddenly losing her appetite. She could not eat anymore, so all she could do was to fiddle with her food and rested her jaw on her hand. She didn't like Oscar's way of thinking. Neither did she appreciate the fact that he wanted her to quit her job because of marriage. She had worked so hard to get here. Why would a man just come out from the blue and ask her to quit her job? Her dream job, just like that. She wanted to go home, but she knew that she couldn't get up and walk out on him. It would definitely annoy him, so she continued to fiddle with her food, hoping that the night would end soon. A few months later, Oscar came with his people to ask for Nene's hand in marriage. Adane was so infuriated and she sat in her room thinking aloud. But why will my sister keep getting the good men? All the well-to-do men who had promised me marriage had failed after sleeping with me. But this my younger sister Nene doesn't have to sweat it at all before men will come calling. This is really frustrating. But wait though, this Oscar is supposed to be mine now. After all, I was the first person to pay him a visit in his mansion. The only problem I have with this guy is that he's always acting busy and hardly pay any attention to my direction. Anytime I visit him, he's always either on the phone or about going out. But how come the same busy person is now sitting in the living room with his people, asking for my sister's hand in marriage? And how could Nene date such a man for several months without spilling it out? She kept it all to herself. No bragging, nothing. Anyway, why am I even bothering myself? When Gineka, my able mother, is still alive, she got my back, so there is nothing to worry about or to fear. Hey Africantales by Kamma tribe, how are you all doing? Can you sense danger looming? What do you have to tell Nene? Let me read it in the comment section. Did you enjoy this particular episode? If yes, then give this video a thumbs up if you have not, and kindly share out to your loved ones. If you have not subscribed, kindly do so as well. If you love what I'm doing on this channel and you want to support me, kindly use the link on my bio or the link on the description of this video to buy me coffee. Or you can as well buy me a super thanks. Till I bring the next episode of this series your way, it is a goodbye from here and God bless you.